Welcome to the W Algarve. In this video, I'm going to show you around the hotel and tell you what I think of it. Please don't forget to watch the other videos here on the Uncharted Itinerary. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to our videos that me and Avi make. Okay, let's get on with this review of the W Algarve. What does over 2,000 euros a night get you here at this hotel? It gets you one of these, a supreme 2-bedroom suite with an ocean view. This is an incredible room. I'm going to show you all around it. But the first thing you'll probably notice about this room is how much space there is. Right now, I'm standing in the middle of the living room. I mean, you could have a party in here. You could fit like 20 people easily into this area. There's a massive sofa here. There's another little seating area there. We got some tables. And then over here, we've got this massive central island, breakfast bar, work area, whatever you want to call it. This is an incredibly large amount of space and it's really, really interesting. But there are some design quirks in this room that drive you absolutely mad, which I'm going to show you now. Of course, we have a mini bar down here, not complimentary, and we've got cool mixing bits up here too. Obviously, this is like our bar area of the room. And as I mentioned, there's a really nice area you can sit as well. This is our cooking area. We've got a cooktop made by Smeg. We've obviously got our tea and coffee up here, coffee pods. We've got a sink. There's our coffee pod there. I mean, honestly, and then we've got, look, an oven and a grill. I mean, you could literally make your own food here. And maybe, in fact, this is a great place for families who go out and they want to have a place to cook and bring their own food back, because let's be honest, hotels are expensive when it comes to food. Coming to this place, your question is, which room is the master bedroom? And it's pretty confusing. So this is one of the bedrooms. Is this the master bedroom? I have no idea, but this is different from the other bedroom because it's got the tables at the side of the bed and it's got the phone there, so maybe that does make it the master room with the plug and the switches and a little headboard as well. We've got this little area at the bottom where you can obviously sit or put your luggage on, TV. But you'll notice, looking at this room, the problem we have here is, yes, we've got a view of the sea, which is lovely and beautiful, but there's no balcony. And then you want to go to the bathroom. Well, great, there's a long walk. Okay, I'm exaggerating the length of the walk, but there's a walk all the way to the bathroom, which in the middle of the night is going to be a bit annoying. You can see here, very lovely bathroom. You can see right through to the bed. There is a blind which comes down, but we've got 2 sink vanities. We've got a makeup area here where you can see yourself. And there's a little stool. And then we have our shower and our toilets. Now look at this, remember this? There's an area there for you to put your soap and your shower gel. By the way, there's probably space in that for 3 or 4 people. And then we come to the toilet. These are not fancy Japanese toilets. They do have a traditional bidet as well, which I have to be honest and say I don't really like. The thing is, it feels like these bedrooms both have compromises, because with this bedroom you got a tiny bit of a walk to get to the bathroom, which in the middle of the night is going to be a bit annoying, and then you don't have a balcony in front of you. You've got sort of normal windows. Yes, beautiful view, but normal windows. We do have a big door which separates it so you can get your privacy. But when you go to the other bedroom, you'll see the difference there. And this is the one I've been staying in. So just like the other one, there is an area here for you to store your stuff. We've got lots of towels, we've got robes, we've got a safe, we've got hangers, very nice quality, and a big mirror here as well. But then you come around here and you'll notice, first of all, this bathroom is smaller, and I've used this bathroom, so it's not going to be quite as tidy as the other one. Smaller bathroom, larger toilet area though, same setup. And look at this, a much larger shower. By the way, these showers have dual heads, so you can have a rainfall or you can have that one, and you can turn it and you can have them both at the same time. Very large area, but look, nowhere for your shampoo. In fact, I was balancing it on the side of the door. The shampoo, your conditioner is here. I don't understand that. Come on, it's a hotel. They've got people that do building work. They can put in somewhere to put your toiletries. And then we're into the room. So this room I've been staying in, so that's why the bed looks like it's being attacked. You can see here, this is a much smaller area. There's no side tables. In fact, the plugs are down the side of the bed, which does work, but which isn't exactly easy to get to at night. It's a bit inconvenient. And also it means if you're like me, you're wearing glasses, you then have to put everything above the bedboard, which is a bit annoying and hard at night. Also, this TV isn't straight, although you can adjust that. But the main thing here is you have this expansive balcony view, which you can really enjoy. And we're going to go out there now and check it out. And you'll be able to see what that's like. But that is a beautiful view out there. But yeah, this is the other room. I slept in this room. Everyone has been telling me this is the master room. It's identical to the other room in every way, other than the fact there's no table at the side. We've got an area at the bottom as well, so you can put your stuff. And there's also these little, by the way, these little lights at the top, which are for night lights. And they turn on and off with a little button at the side here. You can see here, turn it on and off. However, if I'm going to be pedantic, there's dust and dirt down there. Somebody should be cleaning these lights. These lights do not exist in the other room. The other room, however, has the lamps at the side of the bed. So again, which room is the master if both the rooms have compromises? One has the expansive view outside, the other one doesn't. One has a bigger bathroom, the other one has a smaller bathroom. And then we've got this massive space here. And by the way, I didn't show you the hallway when you come in. Look at this. I mean, this could be another bedroom on its own. I mean, look at that. That's the door coming into the room behind me here. And then there's another toilet here, which I almost forgot about as well. Here we go. So this is our third bathroom. Also, with a shower. And actually, that's a similar space to the other one in the other room. So it also has a shower there. So, yeah, I don't understand this massive space here. I mean, it's got plugs everywhere. I think maybe if you had a situation where, well, first of all, I think it can join to the other side, the other room, because there's a door there, joining door. I'm guessing maybe if you were using this as a party, then that's a toilet that people could use. But let's pop outside because that's what's really cool. Actually, hold on a second. Let me show you something else, which is really, really a nice touch here in this room. Welcome amenities, which is what I would expect being a Titanium Elite member. But look at this. There's a cake here, which says presented to the Uncharted Itinerary. That's really, really cool. That's very nice. Obviously, we got some wine there. And the other thing too is over here on the window is a message which you probably can't see, but it says, "Welcome to W Algarve. Thank you for being a Titanium member." However, I've teased it enough. Let's go out onto this balcony and check it out. Now, when you have a view like this from your balcony, you have to be very, very happy. This is an expansive balcony. In fact, I think this balcony is as big as my flat back home, just on the balcony side. I mean, look at this space. Now, behind me or to the side here is the beach, which we'll go check out in a minute. But that's the view from that side, beach view. And then if we come down this way, you now get the hotel view. I mean, look at this balcony. I mean, honestly, we've got a chair here where you can swing on, which is fantastic. We've got table and chairs. We've literally got everything. We've got a big sofa here, which you can sit on. And then there's another sofa here in front of the bedroom. And of course, there's a drying rack there so you can dry your stuff. And then you've got the view of the hotel behind us and the swimming pool. So we're right at the very end of the main building. Literally, there's nothing, as you saw, on the side of my room. So I've got an unimpeded view out to the sea. There are 2 floors below me. I'm on the 3rd floor. The floor below will have a slightly less good view because, well, it's not as high up. And the bottom floor has a garden area underneath. Above me, I'm not sure if it's another Supreme suite or it's a W suite with a plunge pool, because the W suite is a 1-bedroom suite which has a ladder which goes up to the roof, and then on the roof there's a seating area and there's a plunge pool. Is that a better room than this? There is also penthouses here, which are basically like these, but with a pool on the top. So it's basically the same design, 2 or 3 bedrooms with a pool as well. But other than that, is a W suite maybe a better room? I mean, if you have 2 people, 3 people, 5 people even, or you need 2 bedrooms, I should say, then having this space is amazing. But if you're one person or a couple, maybe a W suite with a plunge pool and a roof is even better. But you can't argue with this fantastic view that's behind me. That's the room. Is it worth over 2,000 euros a night? I don't know. I guess that depends on what you want to spend on your holiday, but this was a complimentary upgrade as a Titanium Elite member of Marriott Bonvoy. I didn't pay anything extra for this. I just paid for the base entry room. And if you have status, these are the kinds of things that can happen. You can get upgraded to fantastic suites. This doesn't happen so much in North America because, well, it just seems in North America they're less generous with their room upgrades. But in the rest of the world, in certain parts of Europe and definitely in Asia, upgrades like this do happen, and it is fantastic when it does. And you really feel appreciated, and it's one of the reasons why I continue to stay with Marriott Bonvoy. There are plenty of amazing Hilton and Hyatt hotels in the world, but I don't have status with them, so I'd have to book a normal room and I wouldn't get an upgrade. So if you're one of the people that has status at high level with multiple hotel brands, then I'm a bit jealous of you. But otherwise, generally speaking, you pick one brand, you stick to it, because once you get that status, you keep getting those benefits, which make you want to come back. And we talked about using points to book hotels. You can, of course, book this hotel with points as well. But honestly, I would probably say book the base room, pay cash. Those points are fantastic for amazing value redemptions like the W Maldives, like those kinds of resorts, which are thousands and thousands a night, and you get them for a few 100,000 points. But we'll talk about more points and how they work in other videos, I'm sure. Let's look around this room now. So this is a standard room, but it is an accessible room. So we do have a incredibly large toilet here, which is a lot of space, as you can see, with the emergency cord all the way around. And then we have our sink here with a big mirror. We got the area here for you to put your stuff. Then we've got our shower. Again, like I said, this is an accessible room, so a standard room will be similar, but not the exact same setup. And then we've got a really large area here. This will be the same in all the rooms. So we've got our bed, tables on both sides. We've got our table in the middle. We've got a sofa. On the side here, we have our little mini bar area too, with our coffee machine with Nespresso pods as well, just like in the other room. And then we have some drawers with some more cups and a kettle in there. We got our TV on the wall as well. And then just like all the bedrooms in this hotel, by the bed, there's some complimentary water. You've got your plugs and you've got the switches which control the curtains as well. And then you can step outside onto the balcony, because this also has a balcony. I believe all the rooms, except for maybe that one room that has the view of the pool above it, have a balcony. There we go, and we're right in front of the swimming pool right now. And again, I really love this like seashell influence design. The way it reflects is very nice. But here we go, on the balcony, you've got your sofa, you've got a table, you've got a rack here so you can dry your stuff, and then you've got the pool here. We're right in the middle of the hotel right now. But that is this room. Let's start with the design outside the front of the hotel. This pavement behind me is made of traditional Portuguese calcada pavement. It was hand fitted and it's meant to represent the waves as we're by the sea and by the ocean here. So it's a little fact that you probably wouldn't notice unless you were staying in the hotel and looking at the pavement beneath you. And then you'll notice the W logo has this shimmery shell-like pattern. Again, to do with the ocean sea vibe, there's lots of that feeling to it. The walls of the balcony of my room have it, and all around the hotel there are seashelled and ocean influenced design touches everywhere, including inside the lobby. And here in the lobby you can see more of that Portuguese influence. We've got a Moorish influence on the flooring in the main welcome area here, which you can see, which was again fitted by hand. And then on the wall we've got these plates which represent Portuguese tradition of handmade plates. And then this design here on the ceiling, and again these lights and effects on the mirrors on the side. These are based on the design of Benagil caves, which is one of the Algarve's most famous natural landmarks, and it's meant to represent that. So we've got all these interesting design features inside the hotel, which are interesting to see and respond to the traditional Portuguese designs. And of course, we can't forget all along the outside of the hotel, there is of course this design, which again represents the waves, as if the hotel was a wave in the ocean. Let's walk to the beach here. Now this is a really nice walk down this pathway towards the beach, and it's very nicely landscaped here. It really, really is. Right now it's a really nice day. I guess it's the mid-20s, and you can see how it's very, very nicely done. Don't get me wrong, it's not quite as nice as some of the places in Bali. There's still a bit of bare earth, but it's very much got that Portuguese kind of Atlantic coast vibe to it. I was going to say Mediterranean, but we're not in the Mediterranean. And behind me here, there's a little cliff edge, which looks cool. I'm walking down to the beach now. They've got music playing, being at W. And this is a very enjoyable walk down to the beach. You can see behind me here, we're getting closer to the water. Now, this is not a beach club. Just to be very clear here, this is not a W with a beach club. This is not, we're going down there and there's going to be drinks and there's going to be food. This is literally just a walk down to the beach so we can see nature and maybe sit on a rock or something. I don't know what's down there. We'll see when we get down there. But as you reach the end of the W property, there is a gate, which is behind me here. You do need your key card to get back into the property, although to be fair, not exactly a very tall gate. I suppose you could climb over it, but there is a gate here. Once we go past this gate, we're no longer on the W property. It's only a couple of minutes walk, maybe. I see in a second. I haven't actually ever walked it, so we'll see in a second. This path is what leads us from the hotel to the beach. There are gates around near the beach which mark the perimeter of the hotel, although not quite the end of the perimeter, because that's down there. You can get in with your key card on both sides, and then you walk down here and you end up at the beach just behind me, with an amazing view of the little tiny cove, which I'm going to show you in a second, just next to the W here in the Algarve. Not a swimming beach, but still, but a nice relaxing area where you could take a towel from the hotel and go sit there and just be away from the noise of the loud swimming pool. Although I imagine in peak season it's probably very busy down there. There is a little restaurant on the side there which probably fills up with people, and even now there are 3 or 4 people sunbathing, but it's nice and quiet now. Here we are at the beach, and so actually you literally, there's a bit of a car park and then you're at the beach. But you know, bring a towel down here, sit on the beach and enjoy the nice weather away from the busy swimming pool. And it's definitely a very dramatic beach, but it looks the part. It really, really does. It's very, very easy to keep track of where you are here. It's not a beach for swimming. This is more of a beach for just chilling on the sand. There are some people here. They've got their towels. You can definitely bring a towel down from the hotel and just sit here and enjoy the beach view, because you definitely do have that behind me here, and it is a very chilled, relaxing area. It does look like behind me there is some kind of beach restaurant which isn't open right now, but it probably opens in the peak season. But really, really close to the hotel. Again, not a beach for swimming. You can see it's a bit rough there. There are stones all over there, rocks in the sea, but it is a pretty place where you can chill just by the hotel. And they don't sell this hotel as having a beach. Well, it kind of does have a beach because it's right next door and it's very relaxing here. Now, just by the gate, there is this nice little area here which is roped off and has a very charming feel to it, with a bench. Now, I'm not sure that this is part of the hotel. In fact, I'm pretty certain it isn't, although it does run parallel to the path. There's no key card, and if I'm honest, down here there are lots of trees which have been fallen over and not picked up, so I would assume that's not the hotel, because the hotel wouldn't let that happen. But it is very parallel to the path, and you know, there's a little bench you can sit on right next to the entrance to the W. So if you want a little bench to sit on, breathe in some nature, This is a little secret hiding spot that you can sit in the W Algarve or just outside it. Anyway, I present to you the slowest opening gate in the world for a person. From the beach, you can wash your feet right here, which is a nice little touch before you walk back up into the resort. Let's talk about the story of this hotel. It was originally announced in 2016 and it opened in 2022. And the idea was to bring a more lifestyle focused, fun, lively hotel to this area, something that bridged the luxury and the fun into one, but wasn't a boutique hotel. So they chose the W brand. In fact, AB Concept also designed the W in Bali Seminyak, which I visited on this channel. So there we go. I've heard of them before, and that's why, because the last W I was at was designed by the same people. And I can kind of feel the same design here. We've got the layered pools, a bit like in the W Bali, the same beautiful architecture, landscaping, and even the actual building itself looks very reminiscent of the W Bali Seminyak, which had that three-pronged design like this. The difference being there are around 70 private villas in the W Seminyak. Here, I guess the W residences are also kind of private villas, although they are in a big hotel building, so maybe they're not exactly the same. But interesting that I can see the design influences and differences here between these two hotels in the Algarve and in Bali. Really, really interesting. Check out my video. That's another great video. This hotel was developed by W Algarve and built by Motor Ingo. I'm sure I've messed up those Portuguese names, but hopefully you can figure out who I'm talking about. And it's the only W in Portugal. The next nearest W is in Barcelona or in Ibiza, which are both in Spain. What makes this hotel really interesting is there's 134 rooms and there's 83 private residences. And it was always built with the intention of those residences getting the benefits of being part of a luxury hotel chain. So the restaurants and the pools and everything managed by the hotel. So you have your privacy, but also all the benefits of being in a place like this. Here I am at the Away Spa. That's what W uses to call their spas all over the world, in the Maldives and everywhere else. So let's go check out the Away Spa and the gym and see what they're like now. So this is the gym here. You can see there's running equipment, you've got elliptical machines, you've got weights, you've got a few areas that you can use. There are even some bikes outside you can use if you want to in the sun. So I'm sitting inside the Away Spa now. There's a jacuzzi, there's a sauna, there's a steam room. They're not complimentary. You do have to pay extra for them unless you have a treatment. The prices are not totally outrageous. A massage is about 100 euros, 115 euros, which is obviously not exactly cheap, but it's not outrageous either. And if you're in a hotel like this, maybe you want to make the most of it and have a massage. But this is the Away Spa and it's a very nice relaxing place at the edge of the property, just near the entrance on the 3rd floor. Air is one of the many places where you can eat and have drinks here at the W Algarve. It's perched on top of the cliff. You get a beautiful view out over the Atlantic Ocean, and it's a really, really nice place for sunset too. It is one of the places that's available. You can come here when it's open. It is also seasonal, so it may not be open right now. They've got a wedding set up or party set up for a wedding. So if you want to have a wedding here, this is a great place to come as well and have your party with a nice view over the cliffs. Welcome to the pool here at the W Algarve. So we got a split level pool behind me, as you can see. This is not a heated pool. This is what they call a climatized pool, which is a fancy way of saying it's cold when it's cold and probably nice when it's not cold. But you can see here, it's really nice. It looks nice. It's just, unless it's a hot day, like today is, it's probably not that hot, which is a shame. Behind me, there's also a really nice area here, which it seems to be for VIPs, which is an interesting way of doing things. At the side of the main swimming pool are a lot of lounges that you can lie on and sunbathe here, right behind me. They're all facing towards the ocean and they're on the grassy bit at the side. Would I choose to stay and relax? I don't know. I'd probably rather be by the pool, but anyway, we've got these lounges here, which is an area that you can use. As we come up here, you can see that we have a little ramp going up the side because, like I said, there's 2 levels to the pool, and then we're at the wet deck. Now there is a jacuzzi over here, so you can actually stay hot and warm on a cold day and get in that jacuzzi. And then this is the way into the pool. The pool looks nice. It's just, if it's not a hot day, the pool is not going to be very warm. And there's a nice seating area behind me here with music. You can have lots of snacks. You can have a burger, you can have a pizza, you can have sandwiches, obviously you can have alcohols. but no milkshakes. You're considering that we're in a hot country, I would think a milkshake would be an option, but no milkshakes. But apparently the smoothies are incredible, but I wanted a milkshake. But anyway, this is a great place to come if you want a snack. This is probably amazing for lunch, and I might well be back here in a little bit to have some lunch because I haven't had any today. But this is a nice, relaxed, chilled area, and I love how they've got like a little food truck behind me, which is where they make the food. I really, really like that. One thing which is really interesting, which I really find, and I'll show you it in the video, but behind me up here, right there, is a special room which has a pool on the top. I'm right by the speakers, I'm gonna move away. But there's a room there, I believe that's a W suite, which has a swimming pool at the top of it, which is a very cool, different way of doing things. And I mentioned that when I'm talking about my room and explain it a bit. This decked area down from the W lounge all the way down to the pool. In the evening and even in the day, you can sit here and you can take in the views of the fountain, which is right in front of me here, which also has a lot of seating areas around it, but a nice relaxing place. And to see the beautiful hedges of the Portuguese Algarve landscape right behind me, it just adds to that relaxation. There are a lot of areas where you can sit here and relax and enjoy the beautiful weather here in the Algarve. So we've seen the swimming pool area, the wet deck, we've seen here in the W lounge and the garden surrounding it, we've seen the beach. You can see there's a lot of places here to relax and enjoy yourself. So here is a children's playground. You can come and bring your kids and they can play. Here are the residences. So now when you book the W Algarve, you might have the option to book the residences. Now if you do book the residences, they're very nice rooms, and sometimes they're going to be less expensive than the main hotel, and other times they'll be more expensive than the main hotel. It just depends what you want. But because they're actually private apartments which are managed by the hotel, that means you do not get Marriott Bonvoy benefits. So that means no elite nights, no points, and no free breakfast if you're entitled to it. Now, if you're not an elite member, then maybe you don't really care. But if you are, it's worth remembering. The building is literally right next door to the hotel. And one thing that it does have that the main hotel doesn't have is a heated main swimming pool. Now, you're not meant to make the most of it if you stay in the hotel. This is meant to be for guests of the residences, but there is a heated pool around the side here, which gives you the benefits of, well, a heated pool. Although on a day like today, when it's 30 degrees, you certainly probably don't need a heated pool. But it's nice to have one, right? Can't complain about that. And that right behind me here is the heated pool of the residences. So that is a cool little pool that you have if you stay in the residences, which you can use as a residence guest. But you shouldn't really use it if you're staying in the main hotel. But it's there. This is the W lounge here. There's a bar here where you can have your drinks, and then there's a lot of nice seating areas, and you can have dinner here. This is where I had my dinner the other night, and it's right next to the lobby, which is right behind me here, where you come in and check in, and the main entrance. Out here, welcome to Paper Moon on the 4th floor of the Algarve W, and you got a great view here. We got some seating areas out here. There's a little DJ booth here so they can have some music in the evenings. The main restaurant is through here with, again, another really nice balcony which you can enjoy. I'm going to take you inside there, but if you're also a fan of wine, there's Vino, which is just next door, where you can enjoy the best wines they have here. Now let's go and check out the restaurant and see what that's like. This is Paper Moon, the Italian restaurant. You can see there's a nice little area you can sit there. And we're coming into here, and this is very chic. I like the design in here. Look at this, it's all white, matches my cap, with lots of flowers on the tables. And then of course, you've got these blind mirror design behind me here, which looks very cool. And then we're out onto the balcony here, where you can have your expansive views of the resort and enjoy the nice weather. And look at that behind me. That is the W Algarve right behind me, with the residences on that side, with the main hotel on that side. But you know, what a nice area to come and have Italian food in Portugal. I mean, I don't know if you've meant to come to Portugal to have Italian food, but I guess I do it, so why not? That is Paper Moon. And look at this beautiful olive tree in the middle of the roof here behind me. That's really, really beautiful. great bit of landscaping up here. This is kitchen here at the W Algarve, but this is where you can have your breakfast, also where you can have dinner. There's a nice large area here. It's very airy, lots of comfortable areas to sit, and you can even go outside, which looks onto the fountain, which you can also get to from the W Lounge, which is right above us. That's the W Algarve. I hope you enjoyed this comprehensive video showing you all around it and everything that it has to offer. I really enjoyed my stay here. Now it's time for my Uncharted score. What do I think of this hotel? And let's start with the room. This room is an amazing room. It is a supreme 2-bedroom suite. It is one of the best rooms you can get in this hotel, and I got it as a complimentary upgrade. The only way it could be better is if I had a swimming pool like the one above me, which is a penthouse has. If you have a family and you want the space, this is unbeatable in terms of space. There are some design quirks I talked about in the video. The bathrooms, they're slightly differently designed. One has a place for the toiletries, one doesn't. One has tables by the side of the bed, the other bedroom doesn't. These are tiny things. They are a bit irritating when you notice them, but you know, probably you don't notice them. And it is still an exceptionally large room with this exceptionally large balcony, which is fantastic. This room is outstanding. How are the normal rooms to compare to this? Well, they're still going to be very comfortable, very modern. Staff here have been fantastic in terms of housekeeping as well. So I've got no complaints, no criticisms. I would give this room a 4 out of 5. Doesn't quite get a 5, but I would give it a 4 out of 5. Let's talk about the vibe. This hotel has a cool vibe. It feels so authentically Portuguese, and it might not be. If you're Portuguese and you're watching this, you might go, no, this is not a real Portuguese hotel. But they've made real effort from the Portuguese paving in the entrance, the traditional Portuguese design, the wave design, the plates on the wall. All of those design features have been put into this hotel to make it feel more authentic and modern and design. And when you look at the grounds around me, I'm looking over my shoulder here, it's beautifully landscaped with lots of traditional Portuguese plants and trees. And then when you walk down to the beach, you can just see that the landscaping around the middle of the hotel obviously has the pools and the lounging area. But once you get past that and you walk towards the beach, you can really appreciate the landscaping even more, and it's beautiful. I would say the vibe in here is really good. Again, I give it a 4 out of 5. Let's talk food. The food in this hotel is pretty good. It's not the best, it's not the worst. I would give it, honestly, a 3 out of 5. There's nothing here which has been terrible. There's nothing here which has been amazing. So I'm giving it a middle of the road score here. You could definitely enjoy your dinner and give it a higher score, or you might not and give it a lower score. It's kept me happy while I've been here, and I've enjoyed the iced coffee I had at the pool as well. So I would give the food 3 out of 5. For service, I think it's been good. I think with any big hotel, there are some communication issues when you have a lot of requests that you're asking all the time. If you're not making a lot of requests, then you won't have the issue. I use the Marriott Bonvoy app as a Titanium member. I've become accustomed to it. And those requests go to the whatever, whenever person here at or team at this hotel. The problem is they are not the same as reception. This is not unique to this hotel. I've encountered this in Bali at the W as well. It's very common. It is, however, a bit frustrating. And so I'm going to knock it down a bit on that and give it 4 out of 5 for service. However, every person says hello, every staff member is friendly. If you ask for something, they want to help you and they want to do what they can to make it happen. And like today, I missed breakfast. I let them know and they're bringing me breakfast in the room. So again, can't fault the service, 4 out of 5. Overall, I've really enjoyed my stay here at the W Algarve. It feels very much like the W in Bali actually, and that's because it was designed by the same people. And when I look at these buildings, I can see that shared design language. The positioning of it by the beach, on the cliff, with the pools which are terraced, even though it's not quite the same as Bali. You got this dual split pool design, just like in Bali. You can see it. And so I actually feel like I could be in Bali, with the exception of all the European tourists and the fact that it's not mind-blowingly humid and hot. That's the only difference. Other than that, it feels very relaxing here, and I can certainly see how you can enjoy yourself if you came here. I think if you're looking for a stylish, fun hotel in the south of Portugal, something which is different from the traditional Portuguese hotels, then this is a great place to come. And I have to say, in terms of families, I've seen a lot of families here, and a room like this with all the space would be amazing for a family. They definitely have you covered. In fact, there are rooms for everyone in this hotel, whether you're one person that wants a pool above your head, or whether you want a normal room, or whether you want a massive room with swimming pool, or maybe you don't want a swimming pool. There's something for everyone at the W here in the Algarve. I'm really, really impressed with this hotel, and I think it's been really, really good. In terms of value, I have to say that I think it's good value. I think when you come in and you book an entry-level room, which is around the 200 to 300 euro mark, depending on the room you book and the time of the year, you can't really beat that. I think to get a beautiful modern hotel with these facilities for that price point is fantastic. If you're staying peak and the price increases though, then, you know, have a look and see what else you can do. My point with Europe is, and I'll say this again in any videos in Europe, is the cost to stay in a hotel in Europe is a lot more expensive. This hotel is cheaper, ironically, than the W in Bali, but if you go to Bali, you have a different culture, different hotter weather, which you may or may not like, and different food, and actually you'll probably spend less money in the area than you would out here in this area here, which is near to Albufeira. However, in terms of ease to get to, 2.5 hours on a flight from London, really, really simple. If you're already in Europe, really, really easy as well. This is a fantastic hotel. So I'd strongly recommend you come here and stay at the W here in the Algarve. It's a beautiful hotel with great facilities, and I've enjoyed my stay. Please check out my other videos with Novi here, and don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe, because it's super helpful when you subscribe. It helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching.